So, I would love to kick this off because I'm really excited about this episode. I've been super excited about it. Which, first and foremost, I'm happy to be back, everybody. I promise not to leave you again for such a long time anytime soon. I just got done with my third vacation in 2 months. I'm done, okay? I will be around, all right? I'll be here each and every week as far as I can tell for a while. So you don't have to worry anymore. You can tell Dylan and Lauren to fuck off, all right? Or maybe I'm telling them now. But I was very, very excited to come here and do this, for one. For two, I wish I had a cooler thing to start this off with, but we're talking about a DC thing tonight, so I want to talk about this, the potential Skydance acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. If you guys aren't aware, this is a thing where Warner Brothers has basically let it be known they are for sale again. And this is probably the fifth or sixth time in the last 20 years?
It would have to be. I am so surprised because the last acquisition wasn't that long ago.
Less than 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery, Discovery basically acquired them. And now David Zaslav is kind of peddling the company around. Now that they actually, which is crazy because they've made such a epic turnaround. Mm-hmm. They had a series of bad decisions, whether it was the DCEU, the pivot to the worst version of the DCEU, the retiring basically of the HBO brand, which was one of their strongest and oldest brands, including the streaming service, mm-hmm. Which they've gone back on that and they've rebuilt DC from the ground up. And they're really on this road to recovery, and everything's looking good. And as a matter of fact, they smashed the box office this year. And they're looking to do so next year and the year after that. So
would have been better had they been able to keep Nolan.
I know. Yeah, exactly. If they hadn't pissed off Christopher Nolan, I don't know how I left that out. But, obviously the auteur of our time in Christopher Nolan. So, all these, series of mistakes, they're finally on the upswing, and now it's possible for them to be bought again. They did turn down the first offer, but I don't think it's going to be the last offer. Skydance is looking to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because if this happens, it is highly, highly likely, and my predictions have been pretty solid here the last year or so.
You had a good year.
Whether I got an inside source or not, you guys will never know. But I'm pretty sure that James Gunn's not going to be around if that happens.
Why do you think that would be?
Well, how can I put this delicately? I don't want to get super into it because we tend to try to avoid talking about politics on this show unless it's directly related to what we're reviewing or discussing. But essentially, I do not think that Skydance and James Gunn, I don't think their politics align. I think that Skydance is going to very much crack down on the type of content that is put out. I'll give you an example. If you look at Top Gun Maverick, mm-hmm. right? And amazing movie. I love it. I've seen it 5 or 6 times. But they were incredibly careful in that movie to make it as not offensive to anyone as possible.
Nameless, faceless villain.
Yeah. The nameless, faceless, all black suit villain with the fighter jets that could be from anywhere mm-hmm. in the region that doesn't clearly belong to anybody. Everything in that. I mean, even the blatant patriotism was toned way down. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if you remove enough ingredients from the soup, you end up with just water. And Top Gun Maverick, I don't think is an example of that, but they had an incredible, incredible story to tell, and that movie came out at the right time.
Yeah,
it had a lot of things going for it. Great run at the cinemas. They're not going to be able to churn one of those out every 3 months or whatever. So that is my concern, and sort of to back that up, James Gunn has not renewed his contract, whereas a lot of the other big DC producers have. But as far as I am aware, as of today, James Gunn has yet to renew, and I think James Gunn is going to be waiting to see if that merger goes through. I don't think he wants to lock himself into another 5-6 year deal if he's going to be stuck working for some corporate overlords that he absolutely hates.
The worst thing that could happen right now for the DCU is for James Gunn to leave.
Absolutely.
He's got the vision right now. He's got a plan in mind, and there's virtually no one that's really going to stand in his way right now to really interrupt that. And the worst case scenario, even if he were to leave and somebody who was extremely capable, who we trust and who we love, were to step in and take that position, there's still going to be a low glass ceiling on how good the DCU is going to be for the next few years if somebody else takes it, because they're picking up the pieces from somebody else and then trying to continue on with what James Gunn was building. And they may have a different viewpoint. I mean, this is like not an exact one-to-one comparison, but you look at like the Star Wars sequel trilogy and how they just kind of hot-potatoed that property until by the time you got to Rise of Skywalker, your best case scenario was, how do we unfuck what was already so fucked and try to just make a passable movie?
I don't know if I've brought this up before, but since you brought up the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and it wasn't me, did you know they spent $600 million making that movie?
Just one?
Rise of Skywalker.
$600 million.
$600 million.
God damn.
Correct.
Is that including the marketing budget?
I'm about to find out right now. Yeah, because like that's bonkers. So yeah, the budget. So they spent $593.7 million. The UK gave them a tax reimbursement of $103 million. So the cost ended up being ultimately, with that tax credit, $489.9 million.
Dog.
But they still spent $600 million. Mm-hmm. They just got a rebate on 100 of that.
Wow. For Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, for, I guess having those horses run down that Star Destroyer was very expensive.
You got to pay to get the horses into space safely.
Yeah.
And then back.
Yeah.
No horses were harmed in the making of that movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah. I guarantee you that's where all the money went. Yeah.
Damn sure didn't go to figuring out how Palpatine came back.
Right. Exactly.
Somehow.
Yeah. But don't fret, folks. The DCU is not doomed. I do think. I do think that no matter what, that we are going to get, obviously we're going to get Supergirl. It's finished.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get Clayface. I think we're going to get Man of Tomorrow. And I think we're going to get this Lantern show. So I think that even if Skydance buys them tonight, I think we still get all of those things. But I think James Gunn will probably exit stage left after that.
And that would really be unfortunate, because I really want to see what his vision completed is for this DCU.
And here's the other thing too, is like, if I'm Skydance, I would be going to him and being like, look, we'll put it in your contract that we're not gonna like mess with whatever. Because if I'm them, man, I gotta know, if I cut him loose, he's gonna go right to Disney.
Yeah.
And honestly, he may end up taking Kevin Feige's place whenever Kevin Feige steps down.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna go put him in charge of Marvel. But Kevin Feige would greenlit Guardians of the Galaxy tonight, Guardians 4. Yeah. That's $1 billion.
Right. That's a guaranteed billion that you got right there.
Yeah. Billion with a B. Guess what? Every single movie in that franchise, billion with a B.
Billion with a B.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a capital B on top of that.
Yeah. And I got to say that, other than Spider-Man, that's the only... Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So... properties you got from somebody else,
Yeah. I think Marvel is expecting a big year next year. And I think it's safe to say, if I were, a betting man, like, I would hedge my bet saying that Marvel, they probably got $2 billion movies on their hand for next year.
Doomsday and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I guess we could take a second to talk about this. Marvel out here running their mouth again, talking about how Daredevil Season 2 is going to lead directly into a brand new day. Listen, I really would love that, but I will believe it when I see it.
Because Daredevil was blind.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. I can get as many as I want.
Well,
I've been gone. See,
but you just used your 2. You got one for last week and one for tonight.
No. I get one for last Wednesday, one for last Friday. I still got 2 in the tank from the Dylan and Lauren episodes.
Well, those have expired.
Oh shit! My bad.
They don't roll over like that.
Oh man, I keep them in my Google Pay.
Oh,
and I haven't really been checking it. So.
I had to get with the committee about that.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
But so I don't know, man. There was somebody else who was working on Brand New Day, who and they're being questioned about like Daredevil's interactions potentially with the movie. And the guy, I don't know if it was the director or somebody who was working on the script or whoever, but he basically said, yeah, you know, like there may be like some loose tie-ins, but don't expect anything, you know, super extravagant from Born Again Season 2 to be in Brand New Day. And so like I'm just getting conflicting reports here. And I tend to feel more inclined with the latter, you know, like with the guy who said, well, don't expect there to be too much intermingling.
Why would we? That's all we've ever gotten is just like minor connectivity, and for the most part. Yeah.
I just always still thought it was weird that they haven't just come out and put Daredevil in Brand New Day. I mean, the motherfucker was in No Way Home.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems weird that they wouldn't just put him in.
Yeah.
You know?
And I still think that it's... I know a lot of people are really excited about the Punisher being in it. For me, I love the Punisher, especially John Bernthal's interpretation. But John Bernthal's interpretation just... I don't know how that fits.
Yeah, I don't know how he interacts with Spider-Man for very long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I'm just picturing one of his manic episodes... And poor Tom Holland being like, hey, man, like, it's cool.
Yeah, and, like, Tom Holland's going to web this motherfucker up and leave him somewhere.
Yeah.
Like...
And that's going to be another mistake because when that web dissipates, he's going to shoot somebody.
Yeah. It's not going to be Spider-Man, but it's going to be someone.
Someone's going to get shot.
Or, worse comes to worse, like, the cops are going to show up and they'll be like, all right, we'll cut him down, we'll take him in. And that's going to go horribly.
Yeah, it's going to go awfully.
Because as soon as they cut him down, at least 3 of them are going to be cut down.
And then I haven't heard anything else about the Hulk being in this, but I'm pretty sure that's still...
Yep.
That's still the direction.
Hey, have you seen anything about this? I know we're rabbit holing like crazy here, but that's what the cold open is for. Have you seen this new show that's got Mark Ruffalo in it?
I haven't watched it yet, but I've been tempted to give it a gander.
Yeah, I've heard that it is better than all but one of the True Detective seasons, and it's like that kind of vibe.
Okay, you say better than all but season 1 of True Detective.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, I mean...
So I don't know if I could, off the top of my head, name a season of TV that's better than season 1 of True Detective.
That's one of the greatest seasons of television, point blank period.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I might could hit it with like a season 4 of The Shield, or one of the seasons of Suits, maybe, or maybe even like the Gus... was it season 4 of Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Any of those, man.
I ironically enough, I'm very partial to the Watchmen TV show.
Yeah. Agreed. Didn't they have the same director for one of the seasons of True Detective and that?
No, Damon Lindelof never did a...
Oh, okay, that's right.
No. Because I like to think it probably would have been pretty good had he did it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else that's been happening in the world of nerddom, but I can't think of what it could have been. There's still been more speculation about who Sadie Sink is playing, and I feel like every week it's a different character.
Yeah, any redheaded character.
Yeah,
they're just gonna just cast her as somebody that doesn't have red hair.
Yeah, that would be the most hilarious thing. Just make her somebody who doesn't have red hair.
Yeah, she's just Black Cat in the movie.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the Lantern show is still slated to come out next year.
Yep.
So we got that. House of the Dragon season 2. That's still this year, right?
Season 3.
Season 3, yeah.
I think it's not going to be until next year.
Okay. Dunk and Egg. They finally got a trailer. When is that?
I think that's also next year. So I think both of them are coming out next year.
Both of them.
Okay. I think there's going to be like a spring summer release and then like a fall winter release.
Okay.
We're still getting Stranger Things this year.
We are.
And we are not getting Wonder Man. That got pushed back right to January.
Oh, I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it did.
We thought we were going to get Wonder Man. Yeah. You see the Wonder Man trailer?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
That was kind of what the fuck. I'm actually interested though.
Mm-hmm. They're being a little meta with that Wonder Man trailer.
They really are.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah, I was very interested. Like I at least it's got a nice hook.
Yeah.
It could be bullshit, but it's got a nice hook.
It could be. Yes. They have my interest if nothing else. So.
Yeah.
And I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second. I don't know the first that much.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You seen this new Arc Raiders video game?
No.
You should look that up. It's
Arc
all the
Raiders?
rage. It comes out in like 9 days. It's called Arc Raiders.
What is it?
Did you ever do? You ever play Escape from Tarkov?
No.
How about the DMZ mode that was in Call of Duty for a while, where you like go in and like you have to like loot shit and then like extract with it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's that kind of game. It's like a PvPvE thing where you're against the environment and also there's other players that can like you can either team up with or they can like attack you and take your shit.
Yeah.
And they had an open beta last weekend and like blew the roof off. Like just everybody's like really raving about it.
Oh shit.
Man, I got so many video games to play because, like, I'm trying to play through Hades 2. Mm-hmm. That's coming out. I'm trying to pick up the new Jurassic World Evolution game that came out today. Mm. And then Hades 2, and then Outer Worlds comes out at the end of the month.
Yeah. Outer Worlds 2 comes out. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just led me down one more rabbit hole before we start here.
Yeah.
Thinking about Outer Worlds 2, because I was thinking, man, I probably just played it on Game Pass. Xbox, what the fuck, man?
Oh my god. The PC players got super fucked in this because PC Game Pass was like its separate thing, and so like it's been like $10, $11 the whole time.
Yeah,
and you still get the day one releases. Mm-hmm. And then now this new Game Pass structure, it's like there's only 3 tiers, and like the bottom tier isn't even real. It's just like Xbox Live Gold, and you get like 20 games or whatever, like the most 20 you get like Gears of War or Halo and like you know the like basic ass shit. And then like the middle tier you get access to a bunch of games, but it's like the EA Play or whatever, basically, where you don't get anything on day one. You get shit like 6 months later.
Yeah.
And that shit's like what, $15?
Yeah, that's the new $15 tier, I believe.
And nobody wants that shit.
Right.
And then, so in order to get like the real Game Pass, you have to have Ultimate, which is now $30. Let me tell you guys something. I have had Game Pass Ultimate since it came out, right? From day one, I've never unsubscribed from it, never had a reason to, because I'm almost always digging into some shit on there, and like a new game would come out, and somebody'd be like, "Oh, have you played this?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I probably won't." And then I'll go home and look and see if it's on Game Pass. And if it is, I'll play it. And I've picked up so many games that I would have never played otherwise that way. I keep my Game Pass active for Call of Duty. I'm keeping it active for Outer Worlds 2. But I'm going to tell you, Microsoft, when that's done, man, you guys do not put out enough games to justify $30 a month.
Yeah, a lot of people have done the math on it, and they're like, okay, the main reason why so many people have Game Pass is for a lot of these day one releases, such as Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
And for like that $30 a month, like you total that up for the year, and then you calculate how many new games people actually go back and play, and they're like, a lot of people would be better off if they just bought the games.
Yeah, because at that price, you're talking about you got to bang out a AAA game that I'm going to get on day one every other month.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's track record is far worse than that. And, you know, they just came out with this handheld that everybody's upset about, too, because there's like a premium model and then like a OK model. And like the OK model is like $600.
Yeah.
And the premium is $1,000.
$1,000.
And it's really not you asked me a few months ago if I thought this was going to be a Steam Deck killer. No, I don't, because like the shitty model, the $600 model, is barely as good as like the weakest Steam Deck, and
it's like $400.
Yeah, and so there's a significant premium that you're paying here. I'm very concerned about the next Xbox console because, like, I have a concern. I think we very feasibly could see the next Xbox having just one console at $799.
I think that's possible too. I'll be honest, man. Like, looking at this handheld thing they got going on, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit more than that. Because it sounds like they're trying. I don't think that they are in the market anymore. From what it sounds like from what they're saying, I don't think they're in the market anymore to want to compete with Sony or Nintendo.
No, they're not.
I think they want to just present like a premium gaming experience that may not be, curtailed or affordable for everyone. And I think that they're trying to market maybe to like a more higher end clientele of gamers is maybe what they're going for.
Well, I actually think this new Xbox, I highly believe that they're going to have your major game marketing systems on it. So I think they're going to break out. I think they're going to go the opposite direction of Sony. I think they're going to have Steam on the new console. I think it's going to be kind of a hybrid PC console. I think it's going to have Steam. I think it's going to have GOG. I think it's going to have EA, Ubisoft. I think all their marketplaces are going to be available on there. Epic Games, I think all of those are going to be available as apps, and that you're going to be able to use all those services on it just like you can on a PC. And I got to wonder if maybe Microsoft has an agreement. Like, when you buy a game on Steam, Steam gets 30% of that shit. A lot of people don't know that. And so, I don't know. Maybe Microsoft has a deal where it's like, okay, well, we'll put Steam on Xbox, but, when they buy a game off of an Xbox through Steam, you get 20, we get 10, something like that.
Right.
Because that really is a win-win for everybody, because that's a market that Steam would never touch otherwise.
Yep.
And then for Microsoft, it's basically like, yeah, go for it. We don't have to do any of the infrastructure if you buy and play a game on Steam. That's your servers. That's your shit you have to keep up with. We don't have to keep up with your game saves.
Yeah.
None of that. That's all Valve's network. So I think that's a win-win, and I think it's smart. I think they should go in the complete opposite direction philosophically from Sony, which is very much the walled garden.
Yeah.
They don't even really like crossplay.
Right.
Like, it's just going to be, these experiences are going to be curtailed to be only in front of you if you're on PlayStation. And even Sony is beginning to back away from that a little bit. But, like, I think Microsoft should go far in the other direction and just open it up and be like, okay, well, we may not have access to like 100 exclusive games that we can just roll out to you, but here's all the Steam games. Steam has such a huge library.
Oh, yeah.
And there's tons of games that are Steam only out there to this very day that you can't get on consoles. The new World of Warcraft expansion, they are seriously condensing the UI. They're getting rid of all these add-ons and stuff you have to install. They're simplifying all the combat rotations and things like that. Everybody, if you're paying attention, you can see what they're doing. They're prepping to put World of Warcraft on Xbox. So,
I mean, shit, that's a move.
And I think if they do, I think they will package a WoW subscription in that Game Pass Ultimate.
I can see that.
To try to bring some more value to it.
Yeah.
Because in their defense, that while they are going up on that, the cloud gaming, they did also do a huge upgrade to the cloud gaming experience. And so that is something that you get included with Ultimate as well. I don't know how many people are using that, but somebody must be, because they've invested in it heavily.
Yeah.
So,
something to think about. We'll see what happens with all that. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just I'm curious to see how they do this, because if they do decide to go like this completely opposite, distinct direction from Sony, then it'll feel like each corner of the gaming market is really like its own distinct thing. Like, Nintendo feels like its own thing, Sony would feel like its own thing, and Xbox would feel like it's also like its own separate entity in like the gaming market. And so, like, yeah, there's still people who are gonna be like There'll still be people who intermingle between like each one, of course, but like they will all just feel so distinct from one another, from my POV.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, either that or Dr. Manhattan can go back in time and feed Mark Kearney some paste as he's a kid, and then he'll be dumb, and then he won't be able to make PlayStations.
It is 1990.
Yeah. Mark Kearney eats the paste.
Oh,
great segue.
Well, with that being said, homies one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here once again with the world's greatest co-host. He has been infused, touched even by the great Dr. Manhattan himself. I'm talking about the homie Caleb.
It is 2025. I recorded an episode about the Doomsday Clock.
That he does. That is factual. Yeah, homies, we are here to discuss Doomsday Clock. This story, I believe, came into its finality back in 2020, so just 5 years ago now. And of course, it works as sort of a pseudo-sequel to the Watchmen and a way to tie in the Watchmen characters into the greater DC multiverse. This is the reason why we decided to do this was because it was last year when DC released those Watchmen animated movies. We thought it'd be a fun idea to read and review Doomsday Clock. Watchmen, as some of you may or may not know, is my personal favorite comic book of all time. So I was really excited, really hyped when I saw that like the team of Geoff Johns and Brad Anderson were working on Doomsday Clock. And I really, really, really love this story. I think there's so much value here to this. And just a little bit of context here, like there were two major stories that were going on at DC Comics when Doomsday Clock was coming out. One was, of course, Doomsday Clock. Like, this is super anticipated. Like, when these issues were dropping, people were losing their shit. Like, holy fuck, there's Rorschach. Oh my God, it's comedian. Like, what's Dr. Manhattan's gameplay here? Like, what's going on? And, like, so people were really losing their shit when this is coming out. The other story that was dropping, that came out a little bit before Doomsday Clock, but it was still, like, what I consider to be, like, the polar opposite of it is, Dark Knight's Metal. So that was also a thing that was going on at the same time as well. And I have been known to say, even on this very broadcast here, I am not a fan of Dark Knight's Metal.
Is that a Scott Snyder
piece?
It is. Yeah.
I do have the Omnis, but that's only because I got those bitches for, I think, 60% off. And I can't pass up that artwork for 60% off.
Those are... that is the Peacemaker Season 2 of Scott Snyder's Batman run.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It reads and feels like grunge in all the worst ways of that word.
So let me tell you, I actually have been reading Absolute Batman as well because we're going to be reviewing that soon. And man, I very much dig it. Mm-hmm. It's got a great feel to it.
It does.
It has like a year one feel to it.
Yeah.
But like a lot edgier, I feel like even.
Yeah. I love so many of the subtle changes that Scott has made in the Absolute series. It comes across really cool to me just to read. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Where are you in Absolute?
I think the last thing I'm early on.
Okay.
But he stole all Alfred's shit, and he's like 18 steps ahead of Alfred. Mm-hmm. And I think they just introduced the Joker for the first time, so I think I might be in the second issue.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They just showed him for the first time.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Black Mask. I think that was a good choice for like the starting villain for this first arc. And it gets very intriguing. Like I really had a lot of fun with these first 6 issues of Absolute. Yeah, I think it's incredible. As a matter of fact, not to rabbit hole us again here, but I think it was for the month of September, like the comic book sales. I think the first 4 slots were all different Batman titles.
Yeah.
It was like the new Batman #1, then Absolute Batman, and then like Detective Comics and something else. I was like, Jesus, man, yeah, Batman. I would say Batman is back, but I mean, he never really left.
Yeah, he just honestly hasn't had an on-screen presence in a long time,
Yeah.
so people are really going to the comics for it because they can't get it anywhere else.
That also reminded me, and that's kind of a segue into tonight, but also Superman sales have gone up.
Yes.
And that it has to have a lot to do with
the movie.
With the movie, yeah, because also there have been comic book stores that have reported that like not only have their Superman sales gone up, but also like the runs of like Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific have gone up, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's not a coincidence.
No, not at all.
So yeah, it's cool to see that people are feeling inspired from that Superman movie to go and check out these comic books, because I think that is the net positive that you get from making a superhero movie that feels so much like a comic book, is you get people to go and read these comic books.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. And people just want more and more of that. And I will say the movie has impacted me as well. I don't think this book would have been as good to me without my sort of renewed faith in Superman.
Yeah.
You know that I very much was not a Clark Kent person, especially not mainline Clark Kent. I really like the Gods and Monsters version that Paul Dini worked on that, right?
I think so.
I really loved that one where he was actually like, Lex and Zod or something?
I don't remember.
But yeah, I really like kind of that version of him, which I'll be honest, is not that far off from like the Cavill version. But showing, James Gunn showing us that Superman can still be incredibly relevant today and likable and just kind of this kind of shining beacon of hope that he was always supposed to be. I really enjoyed that, and I think that's changed a lot of people's perception of him because, I'm not here to shit on Zack Snyder's Superman or Henry Cavill. As a matter of fact, I don't really have any desire to do either of those things. I love Henry Cavill especially, but that Superman was never, I'm not going to say he was never that, but that's not what the focus was ever on. The focus was very much on, hey, he's fucking Superman and he can hit the fuck out of you. Which, there's a time and a place for that. I think that a lot of who Clark is as a person was lost in that version of Superman. And I think that a lot of other people felt that too. So if you go back to before that, the last thing we had was the Brandon Routh, yep. Right? And yuck, no offense. He was great as the Atom.
Yeah.
But, and that Superman just came across as archaic, when that came out in early 2000s?
Yeah, like 06.
Yeah. It felt like a 30-year-old movie, when the day it came out. It just felt incredibly dated. And this Superman feels fresh and new and like somebody you can hang the franchise on.
Yeah.
So,
and it is interesting, right? Because I think a lot of those qualities that people like in David Cornsweet's Superman, they are present here in this book.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you're reading this and you're like, does James Gunn want to do a Doomsday Clock?
Right.
But clearly listen, folks, this is like Stormlight for me. I don't really ever care to see this attempted to be adapted in a live action. It's not going to happen.
No, it's too much. You can't.
But they absolutely could do an animated with the same team. And I felt like when they redid the animated Watchmen a few years ago, I was like, they have to be wanting to do an animated Doomsday Clock, right? There's really no other reason to put this out.
Yeah.
So
that would be tremendous. I would love to see them do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, Kayla, oh, by the way, full spoilers for Doomsday Clock and for Watchmen and for other various superhero media.
We already have dropped a couple spoilers, but yeah, full spoilers here.
What you think of Doomsday Clock?
Oh, man. So I'll be honest. When you first suggested we were going to do this, I was like, man, that's a big ass book. It's probably got a bunch of meandering bullshit in it. Okay, whatever, we'll do it. And then I'll be honest, I was kind of dreading it just a little bit because, every now and then it's hit or miss. Like sometimes you're in a mood to read a certain thing and sometimes you're not.
Yeah. And
so I had read maybe the first fourth of this before I went on my trip. And I at no point in time was I not enjoying it, but I never was like absorbed, like I can't put it down. Yeah. I would like read an issue and then I'd put it down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was good. And then I'd put it down. But I don't know exactly where it was that it really struck me. I think it was the Mothman reveal.
Oh, yeah.
I think from that point, I was glued to this. Mm-hmm. I read the rest of it in like an afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could not, you could not peel me away. I sat on the beach for like, I'm surprised I didn't get sunburned. I sat on the beach from like 8 a.m. to like 2 p.m. and read the whole fucking thing. And then I started on Absolute Batman.
That's, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I got to thank you for that because I think Stormlight 5 is the last time that I was like that glued to something that I just absolutely couldn't put it down. I had to finish it before I could do anything else. So,
man.
And this wasn't 1,400 pages.
It's like 1,400 pages, yeah.
So thanks.
Yeah, well, next time I have you read like Blackest Night or something. Or,
oh, no.
That's like 1,500 pages.
I was so impressed with how this... and I know you had to probably be very skeptical. I know that skepticism is not a thing that comic book nerds are known for. But people had to be very skeptical of this because this is basically the comic book equivalent of adding a book to the Bible. Mm-hmm. There's some things that you just can't amend. And this is one of them, right? You just can't add to Watchmen Watchmen is considered to be the beginning, middle, and the end. Mm-hmm. It's perfect, just like it is. And so if you're going to play in that sandbox, that shit is sacred.
Yeah.
And I had that same kind of worry as well. That like, how are they going to do this without making it feel like a corporate exploitation of the Watchmen characters? And better yet, how are they going to serve the mainline DC characters and not make this feel like just an attempt to prop up one or the other? And obviously, if they have to pick, they're going to pick the mainline DC characters. But I never felt like that.
Yeah.
The whole time I read this, I always felt like this honored the original story while also making a sequel that, now that I've read it, I can't imagine the original story without. Because, and honestly, their chances of doing this, they had to roll a nat 20, and they did.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Just because, it's like you said, there's so much that would go into making any kind of Watchmen sequel, and to have the balls to do it without Alan Moore is insane.
I need a 4-hour interview with Alan Moore where he just reads this.
First of all, you have to trick him into reading it.
Yeah.
And get him to sit there and read the whole thing.
I'm almost certain he would fucking hate it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But fuck him. Because I'll be honest, there's things, and this might be blasphemous, there's things in here that I like a lot more than in Watchmen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a spicy.
Well, you got to think about it like, Watchmen doesn't end on a high note.
It does not.
You know, it's the bad guy wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then this goes on to tell you that, like, Adrian's plan, and this is kind of how the book opens.
Yeah.
Adrian's plan didn't even work.
No.
That shit worked for like 2 days.
Yeah, we know that 7 years later, shit has escalated quickly.
You know, I was always on like Ozymandias is actually the hero. I was on that bandwagon for a long time, and then I read this and I'm like, no, dog, that shit didn't even work. Had it worked, I still might be on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
But Adrian's an asshole, man.
But of course, he is an asshole here. Now, what's interesting is, like, by the time you get to the end of Doomsday Clock, and like Batman is about to apprehend him before Dr. Manhattan takes him away. Ozzy, the way he explains it is like, well, yeah, like, this is what had to be done to get to this, to these natural conclusions that X, Y, and Z had to happen. He's pretty much pulling another Ozzy from Watchmen.
Yeah,
like explaining the plan after it's too late to do anything about it.
He's playing 4D chess here.
Yeah, and so looking at it from that angle, it's like, okay, I can't call you a hero, but I can definitely call you a Lex Luthor of sorts. Except like the one key difference here between like Ozymandias and Lex Luthor is that the reason why Lex would have never done Ozzy's plan is because Lex needs the credit for it.
Yeah. Yep.
And Ozymandias, he is completely fine with being the martyred, tortured hero.
Right.
In that sense, he's more akin to Thanos than Lex.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I think that Doomsday Clock is it's a bold swing, but I think it connects, and I think it knocks it out of the park. There's so much they have to get right, and there's so many things that they do here. For example, like there is like a homage to Tales of the Black Freighter.
Yes.
In this book.
Yes.
But not only does it not feel like forced or just a throwaway, it's an interwoven part of the story.
Yeah. The first time that I saw that whole thing, and I'll have to look here and remember what it's actually called, but it's the Mr. Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mr. Thunder, and he's watching
Carter Coleman.
Yeah, the Carter Coleman mystery movies.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, immediately when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is going to be the Black Freighter of this, right? I was like, there's going to be some tie-in here. And then, no, dog, like, this shit is, like, for real in the story. Like, it ties in a little heavier than Black Freighter, because Black Freighter is just really an allegory for what's going on in the rest of the Watchmen show, or Watchmen novel, whereas this is 100% like, okay, they make you think that that's what's going to happen, and then they pivot it, and it's like, oh, no, this is even more relevant than Black Freighter was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I thought that was tremendous. There's things that they do that are, pretty overt homages, like Gary Frank, the primary artist on this, he does that classic Watchmen 9-panel grid all throughout the book here, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
There is...
Some of the art here was fantastic. There's not a lot of action in this book.
Surprisingly, no.
Keeping in with kind of how Watchmen really was.
Yeah.
And you don't ever really feel that.
You don't.
Because what's going on the screen is always so compelling.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that, like, because I've read Doomsday Clock, I want to say 3 times now, and I didn't even realize until you pointed it out that there's not that much action in Doomsday Clock. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. This is really a story that is so focused on the message that it's trying to tell, and there's so many different moving pieces that you don't even really sit and think about that, oh yeah, there's not a whole lot of superheroic punch-em-ups going on here.
No.
The tone of this thing also really makes me feel like The Watchmen as well.
Yes.
It's that underlying tone of kind of anxiety, or like, ironically, there's a clicking top, or a ticking clock, I should say. It's kind of what you feel like.
Yeah. Because all the time that like some other bullshit is going on, you're like, hey, this world and the other one are both headed for certain doom.
Yeah.
And, it's like, oh, well, all these other things get thrown into the mix and the characters are trying to resolve these individual, issues with the plot or within the plot. And you're like, you guys probably should stop doing these side quests, man, because the main quest is coming.
Right.
and they can't, there's all these obstacles that they have to go to. And the vast majority of the standard like DC Universe characters don't even know what's going on.
No.
For the most part, for most of this story, and even at the beginning, he doesn't know. Bruce Wayne is like the only person who really knows what's happening. Him and Lex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about it. And what's also interesting about this whole story is just the fact that, like, there's like this looming threat, but it feels like no one can really put their finger on it.
Right.
And then it's like, if you look at like any synopsis online, or even if you just look at the cover of any of the books, you're gonna think that, okay, well, this seems to be a Superman centric story. So here's the thing. I would argue for maybe the first 2/3 of the book, you only get a handful of Superman and Dr. Manhattan sightings.
Yeah. Yeah, when you told me like, hey, this is a Watchmen sequel, but it's also really a Superman book. And that made me very interested in it. And then as I start reading it, I'm like, okay, well in part 1, and I was reading the this 2-part hardcover set. In part 1, you barely get anything that is Clark. You get, I think, 1 or 2 panels that's about his backstory, and you're like, wait a minute. Okay, well, all right, well, I'm sure that'll come back up, But going through it, man, I was like, when is he going to show up? And you're right. Both him and Dr. Manhattan are very much just kind of alluded to for most of this book, because everything is building up for the grand finale. Really is the two of them showing up.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody's like, well, what if Superman fought Dr. Manhattan? Well, obviously, if it's like just a 1v1 fight, it's going to go pretty much the same way that anybody fighting Dr. Manhattan would go.
Right.
Like, he's just going to Beerus, like, delete you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is 2025. Superman has attacked me. It is 2025. Superman does not exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I have gone back in time and deleted Superman.
Yeah. It
is 2025. Superman cannot attack me.
Yeah, it is 1990. There is an alien spacecraft carrying a baby hurling towards Earth. It has been wiped away in an asteroid field.
Yeah. Yeah, it is 2025. No one has ever heard of Superman.
Oh. And so, like, what it comes down to is this. Ozymandias has devised a plan, right? Another plan.
Another plan that'll for sure work this time.
For realsies.
Yeah.
He's devised a plan to track down Dr. Manhattan because shit has hit the fan on the Watchmen universe. And if he can find Dr. Manhattan, then maybe he can convince that giant blue motherfucker to save his Earth. So that's his Hail Mary. And he has a few pawns in play to make this thing work. And the first one he is Rorschach. What did you think when you first saw Rorschach on panel? Because, I mean, you had to be thinking like what everyone else was thinking, which is that motherfucker's dead. Like, how was Rorschach here?
Yeah, I did think that immediately, and I was very happy when I realized, like, pretty early on, I think it's in the first issue, you realize that, okay, well, this is not the same Rorschach.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And his backstory is incredibly compelling.
Absolutely.
And it turns out that his name is Reggie
Long.
And his dad was actually the psychiatrist that was assigned to Rorschach when he was imprisoned. And rather than him healing Rorschach, the truth is that Rorschach actually got to him.
Yep.
And kind of, I guess, infected him with his nihilism. Mm-hmm. And the dude basically, it kind of fucked him up, you know?
Yeah.
And Reggie's parents were actually killed in, when the event happened at the end of Watchmen. And so we kind of start to find all this stuff out about him. And as it turns out, we learn about his relationship with Mothman. Mm-hmm. And we actually find out that Mothman hid the pages of his dad's journal where he started to lose his shit. And so from, as far as Reggie knew, his dad had actually gotten through to Rorschach, and they were basically friends, and he was kind of wearing the mask as like an homage to Rorschach. And then throughout the story, he learns the truth, which Ozymandias always had that shit in his back pocket, of course. And I mean, he plays Reggie like a fiddle here throughout the whole book.
He absolutely does. I mean, from the very beginning, he had him played. I mean, even with the cancer play, which, and that was a brilliant move too.
Yeah.
With Adrian assuming to have cancer when it really doesn't, because it would make all the sense in the world. It would be perfect poetic justice, perfect irony for him to have cancer when he legitimately gave, or he didn't give people cancer, but he orchestrated it in the original Watchmen book to make it look like Dr. Manhattan was giving people cancer.
Yeah.
And now here he is, allegedly from dealing with all these tachyon particles, he now has cancer. But of course, that's just a ruse.
Yeah. And I thought it might be from jump.
Yeah. And it was. You would have been correct.
So early on in the book here, we actually get to see that Rorschach and Ozymandias, their plan involves Marionette and Muse from their world.
Mm-hmm. Or Mime.
Mime? It's not Muse. That's right. It's Mime. I'm thinking about motherfucking Daredevil. Yeah. About Daredevil running full speed down the fucking tunnel, blind as a bat.
Oh, you've used up your.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was genius. Genius, I say. But Mime?
Yep.
Mime and Marionette. And they also have a cool story.
They do.
And we're led to believe that, okay, Dr. Manhattan spared them because Marionette was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I immediately caught on to this.
Yeah.
Because
we know what he did in Vietnam.
Yeah, we know about the Vietnam scene where he sat there and effortlessly, like, he just watched the comedian kill a pregnant woman in Vietnam. And so it's like, we immediately know that John doesn't have any kind of preconceived, I guess, creed or anything against, like, harming an unborn child. Nope. And the thing is, John should not really show any kind of character development necessarily in most cases for something like that, because he exists at all times at the same time. And so
I think in the original Watchmen book, he says something to the effect of, like, a dead body and a living body have the same number of molecules. You know? Like it's just the same.
To him, there's no real difference to him. Mm-hmm. So I immediately said, okay, that's going to come back up. And it does. Yep. Absolutely does.
Absolutely.
But I made note of it, and then I kind of got caught up in their story. Marionette, especially, I thought had such a cool backstory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Again, tragic as fuck, man. I don't know if anyone has, like, a good life in the Watchmen universe.
I mean, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian, yeah. and I guess you can say by the end of it, like, Dan and, I forgot her name. Not Sally, that's
Lori.
her mom. Lori, yeah, Dan and Lori. Yeah.
And their kid.
Yeah, and their kid.
Clark.
Yeah.
Clark Dryberg? Is that going to be his name?
I guess so. Well, no, because they changed their names at the end of Watchmen. And his last name is now Hollis to pay tribute
to the original. Night Owl.
Yep. But I also, it was interesting that we barely see any of them. But I think that was also the right move.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would have gotten really dicey, and also we kind of wanted them to kind of have their little happily ever after.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't make sense to involve them, especially from Adrian, right? Because they're going to start to suss out whatever the plan is. It was very smart for him to not involve them.
Yeah.
But I loved the way that they tied them in at the end.
Same. Yeah, I love that.
And I will say, too, that this book just kind of assumes that you've read Watchmen.
Absolutely.
It doesn't really hold your hand. I mean, there's some scenes from Watchmen that are very key to what's happening, and it will briefly kind of play those back for you. But for the most part, it's like, okay, I am going to assume that you know who all these DC characters are, except for Typhoon, and that you know everything about Watchmen, the original graphic novel.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that. Damn, I almost forgot his name. The guy who wrote this book, Geoff Johns. It's pretty obvious that Geoff Johns is a really big fan of the Watchmen.
Yes,
because his attention to detail is pretty spot on. Like, I can imagine trying to write this book for somebody who's never read the Watchmen. That would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it would be twice as long and half as good.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah,
I mean, right from the get go, you have Ozymandias. He's like, well. Unfortunately, I had to sacrifice the original Bubastis when I tried to thwart John. But what they taught me, was he basically learned how you could use those tachyon particles to not only help him to reconstitute a new Bubastis, but he can use Bubastis to now track down Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, Bubastis is best character, 11 out of 10. My favorite character in the book, and then Lex would be number 2.
I don't know how Lex would feel about coming in second place to a goddamn genetically modified Lynx cat.
Well, I'll be honest with you. He wouldn't feel very different than he would about coming in second place to anybody.
That's true.
He would be probably just as upset. It doesn't matter who that other person is.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that is accurate. So yeah, that's the plan here. We have Ozymandias, this new Rorschach, who we learned is Reggie Long, the son of Malcolm Long, the original Psych for Rorschach, and then we have the odd couple of Marionette and Mime, who are definitely like our Joker and Harley kind of stand-in characters, and they board the Owl ship, and they're able to use that thing, and they traverse to the DC universe, multiverse, I should technically say.
Yeah.
And it's there where they crash land, and then Ozzy's like, well, so we can't just go and try to find anyone. We need to find the 2 smartest people on this planet, and we're going to both, split our resources and go find them. And Rorschach's like, okay, well, which one are you going to go for? And, Adrian's like, well, clearly I'm going to go for the smartest man on the planet. and at the time as a reader, you're thinking, okay, well, we know that it's Lex and Bruce. Who is he going to go for? And
right.
He goes to Lex.
And the pairing here is incredible.
Yes.
I love the scene. My favorite scene in the early stages of the book was easily Ozymandias meeting Lex.
It's tremendous stuff.
And he starts talking to Lex about his whole deal and everything, and Lex is like, "You mean that didn't work?" Oh. And he's like, "I'd really hate to meet the dumbest guy from where you're from." He's like, "You're the smartest guy from where you're from?" Holy shit, man.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
He's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah. And it's so funny, right? Because Lex, he never loses his cool throughout this whole fiasco. He's just in his office, right? And then in comes this strange man with this, is that a weird fucking cat?
Yeah.
Dressed like who knows what. And Lex is like, security will be here briefly, but you might as well go ahead and give me your speech.
Yeah. Do you work for Superman? No? Okay.
All right.
You got 5 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and lay it all out there. And he's like, "Oh, you're dumb."
Yeah. Oh, you're not that smart, huh? Yeah, I can't imagine why your plan didn't work.
Yeah, can't quite put my finger on it.
And meanwhile, we have Rorschach, who goes to visit Batman. And I'll be honest, this was also an incredible meeting.
It was, man. This motherfucker breaks into the into the Wayne Manor, eats Bruce's motherfucking pancakes that Alfred just fixed, finds the Batcave, breaks into the Batcave, and then that's about the time that Bruce shows up.
And then, like, has the audacity to look around at the Batcave, and he says, he keeps trophies of victims. Might be crazy. I'm like, motherfucker, you might be crazy.
Yeah. He might be crazy. Can we roll that back a little bit?
And that's kind of like the genius of this first pairing is because, like, the idea of Lex and Ozymandias meeting, of course, those two personalities would have to meet. And then, like, one crazy person thinking he's a good guy, meeting another potentially crazy person thinking he's a good guy, is also really fascinating that, like, there's kind of blinders that these characters have on to the other. And
I mean, they both treat each other like they would treat this person if they just met him, because they don't know anything about the other one.
Yeah.
You know, Batman straight up treats Rorschach probably like he would anybody else that he found out here doing some Rorschach bullshit.
Yeah.
Probably a little extra because he ate his pancakes.
Yeah. I think had Bruce known that Rorschach ate his pancakes, he might have hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, was that the ones with the blueberry syrup? Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Instead, I love how Bruce was like, you know, Rorschach gives Bruce the Rorschach journal. And Bruce like, this is interesting. And I'm like, oh, really? It's not just the musings of a madman to you. And then it's like, okay, I have an idea. Come with me. And he takes them and they sneak into this facility. And you're like, okay, where are they going? Like, what's going on? Like, is he going to show him something? Like, did he find something? And he goes, all right, it's right in here. And Rorschach walks in. And it's fucking Arkham.
Yeah. And Batman just closed the door behind him. Which was hilarious, by the way.
That shit was hilarious. I really fucking dug that. Meanwhile, comedian shows up, and this is like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
And now what's interesting is that this isn't like a different comedian or anything. It's the same comedian, but instead of him splatting on the ground when he's thrown out the window, he's instead teleported, and he falls into like a body of water, presumably in Gotham.
Right.
And so yeah, he's a little upset. He's a little testy about Ozymandias, and so yeah, he shows up here and starts taking shots at Ozzy. I'll tell you this much, man. Ozymandias might be 7 years older. That motherfucker ain't lost a step though.
He really hasn't. Like. I think he would fuck up a lot of these guys.
Oh, for sure.
And Lex is just like, who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah. So that craziness happens, but he is able to escape. Something else that's also interesting that I wanted to look at here was just like the overall state of the DC universe in this book.
Right.
So it starts off with one thing we get that I thought was pretty interesting was Bruce Wayne getting like some kind of psych eval from someone who's come to Wayne Corp just to, I guess, evaluate Bruce and his mental state. And he's putting on the whole Bruce Wayne playboy persona, you know.
Yep.
And every single Rorschach picture that Bruce has shown, he says, I see like a sailboat.
Yeah, you know? But it's always a bat.
Yeah, but it's always really a bat that he sees. And so he's putting on just the persona. But then he has a little talk with Lucius afterwards, and Lucius was like, hey, look, dog, shit is not sweet right now. Like, we are in danger of losing the company. Some of the other shareholders don't think that you're up to task to continue to run this business, and Lex Luthor is looking to swoop in. And if that happens, then all of our side projects, they're going to stop. But worst case scenario is that Luthor finds out about these side projects.
Yeah, and he probably will.
Yeah. So, they got shit going down that is not good. And then this is when we also realize that the public, they have begun to turn against Batman.
and all heroes just about.
Yeah. Yeah. At first, like, I couldn't tell by the scope of it. Like, okay, are they don't like Batman? What's going on? But then we realized it's virtually all metahumans or people who are costume vigilantes. There is this theory going around called the Superman theory, which states that the metahumans are not who they claim to be, but they are all created by the government. And the theory really began to grow legs when it was pointed out that I think it was like 90% of all metahumans come from the U.S. And they call it the Superman theory. And so, yeah, that has begun to grow some legs. And then some metahumans have come out and said, yeah, I am a product of this Superman theory.
Right.
And began to out other people. And one of the most prominent ones who they mentioned is Firestorm.
Right.
And Firestorm's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Firestorm very much is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He's like, no, motherfuckers. And, of course, ironically, as it would turn out, Firestorm very much was a product of this.
Yeah. I really like how that was played out here in this book, too, because I believe just Robbie's conviction. It never even occurred to me that, oh, yeah, the Doc is the snitch. He's the rat. He's the one who orchestrated this.
Yeah, because the professor 100% was kind of had a heel turn here.
He did. Absolutely. Big ass heel turn.
What's his name? I was trying to look it up. I should remember it from like The Flash and everything.
Yeah. What was his name?
Martin Stone?
Yeah, Martin Stein.
Stein, yeah.
Also, just having to flip here. I don't know if it was just bold or funny that the nameless Russian leader happens to look exactly like the Russian leader we have.
Oh, no, they even called him Putin in this. He's straight up intended to be him.
Up Putin, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, they actually call him that in the book.
Just a quick side note, something I thought was really interesting. Fucking Mime's weapons, they're pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, how does that work?
They're just invisible. So one thing that we do have to remember is that, like, the Watchmen universe, because of Dr. Manhattan, they have technology that this universe doesn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, for one thing, like, they even have simple shit like Rorschach's mask. Like, how the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
But they also have the ability to make shit like this.
Right. That shit's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying, right? Because, you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, he's got a gun. Ooh. And then
he does. Yeah. Mine was crazy, dog.
Yeah. It's also fucked up, I guess, kind of jumping ahead, that Dr. Manhattan was like, you two are going to stay here, though.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going back home, but y'all chill out here.
He's like, I really don't want you guys back there.
Yeah. Yeah, you might go looking for your kid, and you're not going to want to do that.
Yeah, because I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Or he will, actually.
Or he will, yeah. One of the two.
So.
Yeah, so, like, oh, yeah, getting into Reggie's backstory, I thought was also just really tremendous. Like, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but they really go into it when Reggie is in Arkham. And in a pretty brilliant move here, there is a psychiatrist who is talking with Reggie when he's in Arkham, and it's actually Batman.
Yep.
That was pretty cool how Batman put on his disguise fit.
I love that reveal.
Yeah. And he's just getting more info on this crazy ass man who broke into the Batcave.
Yeah.
And ate his pancakes. But I love just how we get more into, like, the psyche of what happened on that night when the alien invaded. Because we know that about 3 million people died during that event. And Reggie says something to the effects of, like, 3 million people died, but they may have been the lucky ones. It's the ones who survived who had to suffer. Because, like, the psychological damage that it did to people was pretty extreme.
It seemed horrific.
Yeah. And I mean, so, like, this, the way that he described it, like, like, people began doing just insane shit when this thing happened. That fucking giant squid monster just kind of showed up and died and exploded.
Yeah.
It did a number. It did a little number on them. But his relationship with Mothman, I thought, was pretty incredible. And again, I just love Geoff Johns' use of certain characters.
Yeah, the Mothman stuff was great.
Yeah.
When he first meets him, and he's like going to jump off the roof or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, dog, you probably shouldn't do that." And he's like, "Man, don't worry, I can fly." I was like, I don't think he can. But then he did.
Yeah, then he did it. Yeah, naked as hell under that blanket. Just took off.
Yeah, well, see, in this universe, Harambe isn't even born yet. So.
Oh, that's true.
So it's not even dicks out for Harambe. It's just dicks out for Mothman.
That's right. it's dicks out for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just dicks out, actually.
But no, like the whole kind of story that we get here between Mothman and Reggie was pretty fucking cool. And just kind of seeing how Reggie processed the death of his parents and all the bullshit going on, and also just like you mentioned earlier, with Mothman hiding the pages of Rorschach's journal before he gave it to Reggie, so Reggie wouldn't have to learn the harsh truth about what happened.
Yeah, I mean his parents already died. So
yeah. And then like the ending of Mothman, I thought was pretty touching and also pretty poetic as well. As like he's just a moth being drawn to the flame.
Yeah.
And he continuously tells Reggie that you see what you want to see.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought all that was pretty fucking interesting. And then of course we get to see him catch up with where we are now, where he gets the mask, he's got the journal, and then he goes and he finds Ozymandias, because again he has the journal,
and he's there to kill him.
Yeah. And
then he finds out that Ozymandias is quote unquote quote remorseful, and that he's got cancer, and he eventually lets Adrian talk him into this crazy ass plan that he has.
Yep.
And basically becomes indoctrinated.
Yep. I mean, fucking Ozymandias, man, like his D&D stat block has got to be insane. Like,
oh yeah,
like the intelligence, the charisma, the fucking dexterity.
He has basically all of it but wisdom.
Yeah, yeah, all but wisdom.
He's got like 20s all the way across the board, except for his wisdom, which is like 7.
Oh shit. Yeah. So just moving on here to like some of the bigger notes that happen here in this book. We get to a point where shit is starting to really take off here with this Superman theory, and shit is starting to get real hot. And Firestorm is like, "Hey man, look, I don't know a goddamn motherfucking thing. This is a Black Label book technically, so there is swearing in Dr. Manhattan's penis."
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dr. Manhattan gotta have his dick out too.
Yeah. Dr. Manhattan said, if anybody's gonna have their dick out,
it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered why he constitutes the penis. He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have, but I mean,
he could walk around as a flying spaghetti blob if he wanted. He could theoretically look like anything he wants, but instead he just was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna be a average fit human dude with a blue penis, a flaccid blue penis.
Well, it'd be intimidating if it was erect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he can make it whatever size or shape he wants.
Absolutely, yeah.
He could just give himself like an elephant trunk with some ears down there if he wanted to.
If he wanted to,
yeah.
Why not?
He can do whatever he wants. He's some motherfucking Dr. Manhattan. So that's because of that. That's where it's always been weird to me as to why he just, he just got the blue penis.
He's like, well, listen, if he didn't have a penis, people would be alarmed by it. Okay. Like, why is she just Ken doll? So he doesn't want to alarm people.
I think the Ken doll is less alarming than the actual glowy blue penis. That's just kind of out.
Look, okay, the truth is, when Alan Moore was writing this, like I think it was Brian Boland who's the artist. He was like, okay, so we're just gonna draw some trunks around them, and Alan was like, no.
No, he would be above that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree, but he also would be above just having his dick out.
It's like, what do you mean? Alan Moore wrote this story with his dick out. All right.
The year is 1313. I have my dick out. The year is 2028. I have my dick out. That's great.
Oh, shit.
He really does, pretty much every time you see him.
Oh, man. Let's talk about Mr. Thunder here for a second.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. Actually, I did you a disservice. There is a book that precedes the button that it's about the same length as the button that technically sets you up for the button, which sets you up for Doomsday Clock.
Oh, great. Is it about Mr. Thunder?
In the part.
Okay.
It's DC Universe Rebirth. And I have it. The reason I didn't give it to you is because it fell behind this bookshelf. And I was like, that's stay back there until I decide to take all those books off and then fish it out from the back.
Fair enough.
But anywho, DC Universe Rebirth, if you ask me, is the stepping stone from the ending of the New 52 to the DC Rebirth era of DC Comics. And basically what it is it's about Wally West, the original Wally West.
Oh, so we get a little bit of that here.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's basically essentially about Wally. He was missing from all of New 52. There was a different Wally West. We got the Black Wally West, who is related differently to Barry than the original Wally West is, essentially making him a different character just with the same name.
Right.
And for various reasons, you can understand why that caused a lot of uproar online back in the New 52 days.
It is weird that they tend to replace redheaded white characters with white characters.
It would be weird if it was just, it'd be something if it's just once or twice, but it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. And I'm not opposed to, because obviously like a lot of media in general was whitewashed for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely not opposed to, like changing up some of that. But it just seems really odd that it was the red-haired characters.
Yeah, and it's almost every time.
Almost every time,
yeah. I got to give props to the homie Dylan, who on this very podcast said maybe it's because gingers have no soul and black people have all the soul.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, I can't dispute that.
They're filling that shit in. Yeah.
But it's about the original Wally, who was absent from all of New 52, and because fans have been clamoring for him, like, hey, we want back the original Wally, and he is lost in the Speed Force, and he's about to dissipate and become one with it. And he's trying to find somebody who can remember him to tether him back to that universe, to that reality. And he goes to the Batcave. He talks to Batman, and Batman's like, "Who the fuck is this?" And but because there's also this something chasing him that's pulling him back into it, Dr. Manhattan. And he can't stay in one place for long, so he goes to Batman. He goes to Linda Park, who was like his longtime girlfriend. His boo thing didn't even remember him. But long story short, he goes to Barry, and I'm like, man, maybe you should try Barry first. I don't know. But he goes to Barry, and Barry doesn't remember him either. But as he's about to just fade away into the Speed Force, he goes, Barry, I love you, man. You were like my mentor, my big brother. You've done so much for me. And I know you don't remember me, but just know you did everything for me. But in that moment, Barry remembers him, and he's able to take him from the Speed Force and tether him to that reality. And he's like, holy shit, how could I ever forget you, Wally? But the reason I bring out that up in relation to Mr. Thunder here is because in the New 52, there is no Justice Society.
Right.
There is no JSA. And in that book, DC Universe Rebirth, there's a point in there where we see this old man sitting in like a nursing home, and he's looking extremely sad, and he's saying, see you. And of course, for those who've read any of those old school Justice League or Justice Society books, or even the Justice Society books written by Geoff Johns back in the day, those are the ones that I have. you know that is the thing that the youngest member of the team would say to summon his magical genie. And so that was Mr. Thunder himself there trying to summon his genie, who was probably the most powerful motherfucker on the team, really.
Yeah.
But there was nothing because, there is no magic here. So that's kind of where this whole thing with him first starts. And it was interesting because, he would be old as shit.
Right, yeah.
And so all throughout here, we see this sad old man. And, who at one point he's waiting for his relatives that don't show up to the nursing home. They got the Carver Coleman movies playing in the background. And eventually, he sneaks out of the nursing home and he's going to find, his old magic buddy, his old magical genie, one way or another. And the problem is, he's like a 98-year-old man.
Right.
Just wandering around lost as fuck and doesn't know where he's going. And the whole time you're kind of wondering, okay, what's his significance to all of this? Because he's been in the background since DC Universe Rebirth. And why is there no magic here? Why is there no genie? What's happened here?
Right.
And come to find out, we get an explanation as to why we haven't seen any Justice Society or any of that. Because some motherfucker decided to go back to 19 whenever and move a magical lamp 6 inches to the left.
Yeah.
Imagine you're in that situation. You're Alan Scott and you're on the train and you see this glowing green lantern and the train's about to crash and you're like, I'm gonna go for this lantern to save myself. And then someone just
this blue motherfucker with his dick out just appears and he's like, just moves it right out of your reach. And you're like, man, nobody's ever going to believe this. And he's like, because you're going to be dead.
And it's and reading it, Dr. Manhattan did this shit. Why are you fucking with people?
Yeah, and I mean, it actually is really cool how they kind of wove it all in. I mean, they didn't plan for this.
Yeah.
But they wove it all in like Dr. Manhattan fucked up the New 52 instead of them.
Well, he was like, well, this is something I don't know, and I gotta know. So, he would just go around and he would fuck with shit. And see what would happen. And I love how, at the end of the book, when he does finally meet Superman, underneath the right context, it could be considered like a fucking diss track. Yeah, man, I killed your parents. I erased your friends. I fucked up your whole shit, dog. Now, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Superman's like, I'm sorry, what?
I said.
Yeah. I killed everyone. Yeah. Everyone.
But it is really clever, though, how this book ties together. We know that Superman, canonically speaking, came out in 1938. And there's the famous image of him on Action Comics, issue number 1. He's got the car above his head. And Dr. Manhattan, he's like, well, I can't stand for that.
Yeah. This motherfucker can't just pick up cars.
Who is he? And why is he everywhere all the time? But no. Anyway, back to kind of the more recent thing that's happening here. Black Adam and Kahndaq, he's got a pretty significant portion of the story too.
Yeah, they definitely did sort of a what's the X-Men place from '97?
Oh, Genosha.
They did kind of a Genosha thing.
Yeah, for sure. But Black Adam here, he's decided to turn Kahndaq into a nation where any metahuman can just come and they'll receive freedom from no oppression, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like a free nation for the metahumans. So like you said, it really is like a Genosha for the mutants.
I gotta say, man, the way that Black Adam is drawn in this, it doesn't really look like The Rock to me.
You can't smell what he's cooking?
I can't smell what that guy's cooking because he ain't using no seasoning.
Oh, shit.
This motherfucker's cooking some tea and crumpets.
Goddamn. I do love how like throughout the story we get updates as to what Marionette and Mime are up to, and they're just fucking about killing people.
Yeah, I honestly gotta say, like, I super love them running into the Joker.
Oh yeah,
like Joker's not in this book very much, but like what he is perfect.
It is, right? Like there's like this super villain gathering, and they're like, okay, guys, look, we need to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do, because like people, it's one thing when like Batman is just beating our asses, but like now it's like the whole world turning against these, anyone who's like a metahuman. And so they're having this conference, right, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. And Joker brings Mime and Marionette along with them because fuck it.
He's the Joker.
Yeah, he's the Joker. And he thinks the shit would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's all these supervillains here. We got Scarecrow, Riddler, Typhoon. We got Captain Cold and Heatwave. Obviously Joker, Mime and Marionette.
I remember being like, "Who the fuck is Typhoon?" And that's like, "Oh, okay."
Yep. And he gets his fucking head blown off. I'm like, oh well.
Yeah, Typhoon gets motherfucking rocked, son, by none other than the comedian.
The comedian shot the shit out of him. That shit was was painful looking for half a second.
I'll be honest, if there was anything that I would have seen that I would have maybe cut from this book, I actually think the comedian could have been cut entirely. I understand why they wanted to put him in, but if you take him completely out of the story, it's the same story.
Yeah, it is. He's primarily there because like of Mime and Marionette. Like, I guess there needed to be someone to kind of curtail them, and everyone else is kind of busy. And
I love that panel that you're on there now, where like this motherfucker shoots at them with the rocket launcher.
Oh yeah,
and like the whole place explodes, and Joker is just like overjoyed at how well it's all going.
Yeah, Joker's having the fucking time of his life. You can't see it, but he's definitely got an erection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't realize yet that like the comedian will blow his face off.
Yeah. Yeah. That has not crossed his mind, I don't think.
Yeah, this motherfucker ain't no Batman.
Right.
Far from it.
Yeah, he kneecapped the Riddler.
Yeah. He'll kill you if you're innocent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He will kill you if you are the mother of his child.
Yeah. Yeah, all you got to do is piss him off, and he'll kill you. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does not matter. Yeah, so you are right though. Like ultimately, the stuff with the comedian, it doesn't mean like a whole lot, but it is still interesting to see him here. And also, I love how with the end of his story, like, when he goes back into the Watchmen universe, he goes back to falling out of that window.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I'm back. Ah!
Yeah, because I think that even Dr. Manhattan understands you can't be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to stay dead.
You got to go, dog.
Yeah. He's like, it was my bad for bringing you back. I thought it was a good idea. It wasn't. I'll fix it.
Yeah, he really, he's like, I guess we really will fix this shit now.
Yeah.
And I actually like how Superman basically inspires him to fix the shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, right? Like, we get this big confrontation between Firestorm and Pozar, who was like the Russian Timu Firestorm.
Yeah.
Because he's been talking so much shit, Pozar has. And Firestorm was trying to clear his name. And as a result, long story short, there is a fight that ensues, and Firestorm loses his cool, and he ends up turning like a bunch of innocent people into glass, and he's like, I've never done that before. Oh my fucking God, I don't fuck them up. So he didn't know what to do. We get Superman. And Superman goes he finds where he is, and he's able to convince him, hey, look, you can fix these people. You turn them into glass, you can turn them back into human. And Firestorm does. Like, miraculously, he has a little kid with him who he took back, and he's able to turn him into, like, a real boy again.
Real boy.
And Superman's like, this is awesome, Ronnie. Like, if you did this for this kid, you can do this for all of them. So we'll go back and we'll tell like the Russian embassy like this is all one big misunderstanding. And immediately, but the first time I read this, I was thinking, this ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go, Superman.
It's really not. Yeah.
And so yeah, they go back, and Superman is trying to explain the whole situation. He brings out Firestorm. Putin and his fucking Shine metahuman crew come out, and they end up accidentally killing a bunch of these people who were glassified. And so yeah, that sets Superman off. Batman is also there on the way because he's sensing like on his radar like there's like a huge energy there that's about to go off, and he's like, Clark, get out of there, like something's not right. And Clark is like, well, no, it's fine, like Firestorm's here with me, like he's not gonna do anything. And Batman's like, no, it's not Firestorm, it's something else. And then yeah, we get like a red fucking herring. It looks like Dr. Manhattan just decimated all of this, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, if I'm Firestorm and I the public decides they don't want to like me and they want to like Timu Storm instead, I'm going to be very upset. But I really did love this sequence, especially like how heart-wrenching it was when you find out that, like, yeah, he actually can change them back. But it doesn't matter because the Russian government wants to escalate the conflict. They don't care. This is just an excuse. And, of course, Batman is the first one to figure out all the Ozymandias bullshit. Yep. And he's like, hey, Clark, don't do that shit. Hey, Clark, dog. Fuck. God. I'm switching my cell service.
God damn it. Alfred, what are we on? T-Mobile, sir. God damn it.
Yeah. Buy them and then put them out of business.
But this was a pretty brilliant red herring from Ozymandias, because it looked like it was something from Dr. Manhattan, and that put them on trail to Mars, where Dr. Manhattan was. And so now we have Superman. He's in rough shape, so he can't go. Batman, he's down because like his bat jet got caught in the explosion. He's down. Wonder Woman is on Earth handling like affairs that are happening on Earth. So the Trinity's out, but like everyone else basically goes to Mars to confront Dr. Manhattan. And
yeah, they had everybody.
Yeah,
like that ship and everything. Like, man, you really want that ship around if you're gonna get attacked by somebody other than Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah,
because like they all started stepping out of the ship, and I was like, yeah, Kara, I love you and all, girl, but you should get away from this planet.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like they got somebody for any situation that they need stepping off that plane. Except for this one.
They sent the right person, though. When Guy Gardner walked out first, I was like, oh, please. Please kill this motherfucker.
Oh, shit. I just love, like, these panels of, like, the League on these ships flying to Mars, because, like, each of them on these panels, they're just quiet. You know, it's like... because they got to be wondering, okay,
who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, who the fuck is this?
What does he want?
Right.
Because at this point, didn't he also fuck up Superman?
Yeah. Superman has been fucked up, and so they're thinking that, okay, what the fuck are we doing? Especially the Bat family here, they really got to be wondering.
Yeah, especially like Dick Grayson is like, yo, I don't really know what I'm gonna do against somebody who fucked up Superman with no kryptonite.
Right.
But I'm here.
But yeah, I'm here. So yeah, we get the confrontation here. Dr. Manhattan, like, he's still just thinking about like why he can't see beyond a certain point.
Right.
That's the thing that's really gotten him all up in a tizzy, is he cannot see past a certain point. Like, Superman is flying at him in a rage, and then nothing. Before you got to the conclusion of this book, what did you think was going to happen with this confrontation?
I definitely, we got they obviously got the idea from like him using the Dr. Manhattan energy from the Watchmen movie. Mm-hmm. Because instead of the giant squid monster or whatever, that's what they use.
Yep.
However, I really thought that something awry was going to happen there. I had no idea what was going to happen with the Superman and Dr. Manhattan showdown. I'll be honest, I kind of hoped that that we weren't going to get this big crazy fight between the two of them because it wouldn't make sense, and that Clark would actually inspire Dr. Manhattan to get his shit together and use his powers for good, and that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So, but even though I kind of was hoping that was going to happen, I don't feel like I was being led there, and I don't feel like it wasn't still a good surprise and still a good plot point. Like I never felt like it was predictable.
Yeah.
Like it's what you want to happen.
Right.
And given this is a Watchmen sequel, it's very possible that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So when this fight on Mars takes place, though, it's pretty cool. All along the way, they are finding like these pictures. It's the same picture that we see in the original Watchmen book. It's Dr. Manhattan before he got vaporized, back when he was just John Osterman, and him and Jamie, I believe was her name, like his original love, like the picture they took at the fair. So copies of that picture starting to pop up everywhere. And that's interesting because like that's something actually that Lex Luthor would end up using to find evidence of this Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
Yeah, so in situations like this, I don't know if it's smart to have like Guy Gardner be your person who does the talking.
No, this is where like the shittiest person, like the shittiest charisma score in the D&D party is like, I'll go negotiate with this, super powerful entity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I get it, right? So all you guys together have all the power to do anything, but this is something else entirely,
Yeah, I mean, all of their attempts, it's exactly as it should be, right? It's effortless. He just straight up takes Guy Gardner's ring and just obliterates that shit.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is interesting. And they're like, oh, look, magic works on him. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's like, oh, so I know you guys think that this is magic, but it's actually, you guys are just kind of manipulating these particles. See,
I can do it too. Right?
Yeah, I can do it too. It's cool and all. He's just like explaining their abilities to them as they attack him and shit.
And it's like he did not care, and I don't know what the play was here that Guy Gardner did. Like he made like images of Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor and Doomsday and Brainiac and all of the big, evil threats that they faced, and Dr. Manhattan's like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah, I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah,
he's like, we beat all of them, we'll beat you. And I mean, Dr. Manhattan probably knew that as this was being said, he's like, no, Batman backhanded the shit out of you, and then they beat these guys.
Right. Oh shit.
Guy Gardner ain't doing fuck all to Darkseid.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, all of the remaining Justice League, they got the Justice League and the Justice League Dark and everyone who they can get. Yeah,
when like Zatanna and Constantine couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not good. And then I was like, well, like maybe Barry can like run through them. Also, I will say, Barry and Diana are really not in this at all. And like neither is Aquaman.
Yeah, no.
Cyborg, none of them.
Yeah, and maybe it's also like, what are they gonna do in this?
Yeah, I mean Diana's in it more than probably everybody I just mentioned.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean they all serve. Not like there's not really anything for Barry to do. Mm-hmm. There's definitely not anything for Arthur to do.
No. Yeah, no, there is no underwater level.
Yeah.
In this, I mean, maybe if there wasn't a Mars, he would have went underwater.
Yeah. There ain't even no water where they fought this motherfucker. So.
Yeah. But their fight against Dr. Manhattan is fruitless, and I love how Dr. Manhattan he does like an old trick of his when he finally decides to take him down. What he ends up doing is he replicates himself, and he just starts grappling them. And, he just stops them all from doing whatever. He's like, no, shit needs to happen this way. Yeah. So he makes a bunch of copies of himself, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's what you did when you have sex.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So,
and he just is like, sleep.
Yeah.
You're stunned.
Yep.
You're stunned for 20 rounds.
Like 20 rounds. You know?
Yeah. What exactly are you going to do for 20 rounds? While we're all stunned.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you got that thing out. Are you going to use it?
I also love the part when Lex Luthor goes to Lois Lane, and he shows her evidence, and he breaks down exactly what he thinks is going on, and he shows her like all the copies of that picture that he has. Like this thing is carbon dated to be from 1938. This one from 1954. This one is from this time period, but they're all the same picture. And it's again that picture of Dr. Manhattan before he was Dr. Manhattan with his old flame. And he uses all that to be like, I think that somebody is fucking with our universe. And every time they do so, there's another one of these.
And I love how he like feeds it all to Lois. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so what do you want me? I mean, you want me to break the story or whatever? And he's like, bitch, that's not why I'm telling you any of this. I want the credit. I loved this.
That was great.
It was like the most Lex Luthor thing imaginable. He's like, no. I figured this out way before anyone else.
Yeah. Give me my credit.
Yeah. Do you not understand?
Yeah. So here's why that was so brilliant to me is A, because, that is totally a Lex Luthor thing. And B, it parallels with the Watchmen.
Yes.
When Rorschach had all the evidence that Adrian is full of shit, and he presented it to the New Frontiersman. And here we have Lex Luthor with all the evidence, presented it to the Daily Planet.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty cool touch. Before we get to like the big finale here, I do want to talk more about the Carver Coleman stuff.
Yes.
So the more you read the book, the more you get on Carver. And like if you read like some of the inserts or excerpts that are in between the chapters, you really get a feel for this guy and what's going on with him. So Carver Coleman, he is an actor within this universe. And he comes from like a humble background, and he moved out to Hollywood to pursue a dream in acting. And he got his big break. I forget what year, but he landed the role of forget the name of the detective, but some detective character, like think like a Dick Tracy type character. He lands the role of that character, and that just sets up his career. But then eventually we get information as to like how he met, or how he got that role, and that is he goes out to Hollywood in the first place, and he doesn't make it, and he is like destitute, and he's being beaten up by these cops who are harassing him, telling him that he needs to get his homeless ass somewhere else. And then this is when Dr. Manhattan pops in. Dr. Manhattan stops these crooked cops from beating his ass, and Carver looks at Dr. Manhattan and says, "Are you an angel? I can get that sentiment, like
right, And why is your dick out?
Why's your dick out?" And they go to a diner, and of course, like, no one else can see Dr. Manhattan for what he is, because Dr. Manhattan shows up as what he wants to be shown as, And they sit down at this diner, and this is one of my favorite parts of the book. Because, like, in this diner scene, we see that Dr. Manhattan, he's having a hard time getting a grasp on time. Like, for whatever reason, he can't focus. He can't see clearly forward or backwards anymore. Like it's all kind of like a blurry mess to him, and it's fucking with him.
Right.
And what he used Carver for is he would tell Carver, like, in a year you're gonna get this role, or you're gonna win this award and this year, or whatever. And it became like a yearly meeting for them. But in actuality, for Dr. Manhattan, he was using Carver kind of as a tether to figure out what was happening, like, as time went on.
Right.
So he would see Carver and he would look at the future and he would say, okay, in a year from now, Carver, you're going to land this huge role. And he would look forward a year from now to see what would change, what would happen. And then like every year they would just kind of meet there. And so from Carver's perspective, he and Dr. Manhattan were friends because Dr. Manhattan kept giving him all this good news and fortune. And plus Dr. Manhattan saved his life. And so every year they meet at this diner, same place, same time. And then one year Dr. Manhattan, he just says, yeah, dog, this is our last time meeting. And Carver's like, you're not going to come back? Dr. Manhattan was like, no, you're not going to come back.
Right.
You're going to be dead. So good luck with that.
Yeah, go out there and be somebody. Enjoy it.
But yeah, so that I always thought that like this whole scene was great because like through the years in these panels you just see like different. You see how Carver has changed over the years and like how they're playing with time here, and then it's just pretty tremendous stuff. But then this is when we start to look into like the multiverse as a whole, and we see like this original 1938 Superman sighting. And Dr. Manhattan's like, okay, I'm out of here. I got to see what this shit is all about, you know?
Right.
Because he's basically learning now that Superman is like the constant that keeps happening. And he's like, okay, well, Superman is here in 1938. I'm going to move this lantern again so Alan Scott can't reach it. And that train crashes and he just dies.
So fucked.
It's so fucked up.
And then he's like, I'm gonna see what happens to Superman then.
Yeah.
And then he's like, cool, I'm gonna yeet Superman's parents into a tree.
All right, that's interesting. All right. And so he just kept fucking with shit. We get this other panel right here that I think was pretty amazing. It's the original Justice Society, and this is like kind of a play on like their original meeting, and they're waiting for Superman to show up, and he doesn't. And then we see like a really young Johnny Thunder show up, and he says the magic word, and there goes his genie, and then they're like, okay, we're waiting for Superman, and then Dr. Manhattan does some Dr. Manhattan bullshit, and they go, we're not waiting for Superman. Who the fuck is Superman?
Yeah.
And then like he does some more fuck shit, and then there's no one there, you
Right.
know, because he moved that lantern.
Right, and there is no JSA.
There is no JSA, yeah. And so he's just fucking around with shit, but all the while, every time he fucks with something, he goes back to Carver Coleman, and he would check in like every year to see what changed. And the way he would do that, once again, is he would look at Carver's future and say, okay, well, next year this is going to happen to you. And so, yeah, it's kind of fucked up because John, in a way, was just kind of using Carver in the beginning just to kind of see what the future looks like from this one tethered perspective. And if I change this, what else happens?
Right.
Like at one point, he shows up for their yearly meeting. He goes, hey, Carver, have you ever heard of Superman? Yeah. Carver's like, who? And then, yeah, that man's gone.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, man, cool.
Boop. Yeah. Deuces. But yeah, so we get to see like all the iterations of Superman crash landing here. We see, obviously the original crash landing in a Kansas
little cornfield.
Cornfield. Yep. We get it kind of what always reminded me of like the Man of Steel origin.
Yes.
We get like the origin where like both Ma and Pa Kent died. We get the origin where Pa Kent just died. So we get to see so many different origins of them. And here's the thing, like in the comic books, we've seen all of these.
I just want to point out the timeline where his dad doesn't want him to use his abilities at all is the like dark timeline. Just want to point that out. No reason.
I was gonna say, we don't know that. We don't know what happens there.
It seems like the dark timeline.
Not the one where both his parents crash into a tree.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No, Bruce Wayne turned out fine.
There's a reason why he's not like the character that tethers the universe together. If Thomas and Martha both live, then probably not a Batman in that universe.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just so funny, like flipping through these pages and seeing Dr. Manhattan fuck with shit.
Like, yeah, like with the Legion stuff, that was cool.
Yeah, the Legion stuff was also really cool. We also see Saturn Girl. She pops up throughout this book periodically as well too. She, along with Dr. Thunder, both also appear in DC Universe Rebirth as well. She's also in the Button.
I think Ozymandias tried to hit that.
I think he probably did. Yeah. I mean, who don't want some future pussy?
I mean, that's true. I guess not.
Yeah, like, I want to know what pussy's like in the year 3000.
I'm going to assume it's probably a little similar to what it was like in the year, 2000 BC or whatever. It's probably pretty similar.
It could be. But then again, like, I think it's probably like a little bit different than what it was 1,000 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah. So
they're gonna the year 3000 they have evolved teeth. It's just a tiny little set of teeth in it.
See, I was gonna say just for science I need to experiment, but I think I'm good.
You're like, and the science can wait.
Yeah, science can wait. So yeah, we can go ahead and go now to like the final confrontation here. We see Superman, and the thing about Superman here is that he's awakened from his coma. He was put into a coma during that tachyon explosion, the one that was orchestrated to look like Dr. Manhattan did it. He's back up, and all of the Justice League are down because Dr. Manhattan dealt with them on Mars. And now we have like Russia's metahumans and Black Adam's metahumans and Kahndaq, and they're all basically vying for Superman to turn himself in and to surrender. And so Superman has a lot going against him right now. And for the record, like Putin's Timu metahumans and Black Adam's metahumans, they're not working together. But, so it's kind of like a big melee. They're all fighting each other and trying to take down Superman. And Superman's trying to stop innocent people from being hurt. And so, yeah, shit is not looking smooth here. Superman, he's not at 100% strength because he's still trying to recover from that explosion.
What would have been really cool here is if they would have brought up, because this movie came out in 2017. Did you ever look at the Russian Avengers movie?
Oh my gosh.
They have a bear.
I remember seeing the trailers for that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why they didn't make all the billions of dollars.
It just looks like the Russian version of like your standard like D-list 20th Century Fox.
Absolutely.
It's like New Mutants, but
And I think the bear man had like a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Russian as fuck.
Absolutely.
But clearly I think that was picking on that. It had to have been that they
that makes sense.
Because this came out 3 years later, so
yeah,
obviously they were shitting on it.
That's hilarious. I wasn't even thinking about those guys.
So let's talk about Adrian's plan here, because we're getting into the finish here.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do you think Adrian's desired outcome here ultimately was if he'd gotten away with everything?
I think that this probably was his desired outcome.
You think so?
And the reason I think so is because if this wasn't, then he would have never brought Mime and Marionette with him. Because he brought them here specifically hoping to evoke feelings in Dr. Manhattan, because he knew that for whatever reason, Dr. Manhattan didn't vaporize her, and it wasn't because she was pregnant. It had to be because of something else. Something with that kid, he's assuming.
Right.
And that was a good assumption on his part.
Do you think he worked out, him being arrested and et cetera? Probably knew that had to be a possibility.
Yeah. I think in his perfect plan, he would die being the savior.
Mm.
And like that's kind of like the two-sided coin of like him and Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor wants to be adorned as and reverenced as the savior, and Ozymandias, he always came across as the one who wanted to die the martyr to save the world, the one who would make the tough call and do what needed to be done to save humanity.
Very Thanos.
Yeah. So I think that for the most part, he got what he wanted out of his plan, except I think ultimately he was expecting to maybe die doing it.
Right.
But we see that Rorschach didn't let it happen. It was hilarious, though, when comedian shot him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I was like, oh, he hates this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's got every reason to. He tossed him out a window.
Right. You came into my house, beat my ass, and then threw me out the window.
Just because I knew some shit.
Yeah.
That you didn't even get away with.
Right. You didn't have to do this. I wasn't going to tell nobody.
And then John's like, and action. And he just plummets.
Oh, shit.
It's important to remember, folks, the comedian was a really shitty guy.
He was a really bad person.
So let's talk about the way that this all wraps up here. Ultimately, Superman, through just being who he is, inspires John so much that he decides to do what he has to do to fix his world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one that he fucked up anyway.
Yeah. And I just love how all this kind of comes about, right? Because you're wondering how's this gonna wrap up here. Like, what can Superman do here? Because as far as Dr. Manhattan can tell, there's only one of two outcomes. Either Superman destroys Dr. Manhattan, or Dr. Manhattan destroys everything.
And we know that it's not going to be the first one.
Yeah. So, at the time reading this, you're like, well, is this going to be the last DC comic book ever?
Yeah. Is everything just going to get deleted and there's just nothing?
And I love that Dr. Manhattan, like, he just says that to Superman, Like, he's very, like, he doesn't dress anything up, even when he maybe should.
Right.
Yeah, because he says here, he says to Superman, I am the one behind the changes in your life, the loss of your mentors you never known, friends you've forgotten. More specifically, I'm responsible for the death of your parents. I changed your life, Superman, out of cold curiosity. And then he says, will you destroy me for it, or will I destroy everything? Like, you will be forgiven for just wanting to beat somebody's ass if they said that to you. Yeah,
absolutely. Even if you are Clark Kent.
Yeah. But Superman, to his credit, he does not. And what Superman basically says to him is like, look, I don't really know what you're talking about right now, but I think that the problem is you just need to make a decision. And then Superman notices that, like, now with every step that John takes, he's leaving those pictures behind. And he's like, I'm assuming that this woman meant something to you. He shows him the picture of, him and Janie back before he got exploded. And Dr. Manhattan looks at that and he's like, okay, I think I get it now. He looks at Superman and he kind of reflects on all of those universes that were created because of Superman and the one constant. And he's like, okay, I think I got it. And I love the way that these panels are presented because Dr. Manhattan says everything ends, and then we see just like the panels fade to black.
Yeah, this motherfucker just rebooted the console.
Yeah, he just hard rebooted the console.
I love how this is done.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, and that's everything, folks.
Yep. And then a rebirth. And we see all throughout the multiverse again, different incarnations of Clark Kent crash landing on Earth. And we see that, okay, maybe Superman is able to prevent the car crash with his parents because maybe he doesn't move that goddamn lantern 6 inches to the left.
Right.
So Alan Scott can finally become the Green Lantern.
And there can be a JSA.
There can be a JSA. And that can inspire Clark. And he can become Superboy. He can save his parents so they don't die in the car crash.
Right.
And so we see these whole chain of events that happen. And
poor Superboy. He just gets like barely brushed over in this.
Right. And then we get this awesome panel, which is like the Legion of Superheroes and the JSA, because now they exist. And so they come forth and they help Superman fight like Black Adam's people and Timu Russian superheroes.
Yeah. Which they pretty clearly just fuck them up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, Black Adam is really the only person who really can do shit to Superman.
Yeah, he's the only one there, you know. Yeah, and so then like it's so cool because we get to see from Dr. Manhattan's POV the explanation for the DC multiverse, and I always thought that was kind of cool. We see things like the OG universe and how that led to like there being Earth 2, and then there was Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then there was just one Earth, and then there was 52 Earths, and then there were infinite Earths, and so we get to see from Dr. Manhattan's POV like how all that plays out, which I always thought was really cool.
So how often are they gonna change this shit?
It was just a clever way to give an explanation for something that happens so often in comic books, like. If it was in 1938 and how Superman's still so young, well, that's because that's just one version of the multiverse.
Right.
So that was pretty cool stuff. Dr. Manhattan, he takes the rest of the original Watchmen crew back to their universe, except he leaves Mom and Marionette here. By the way, they are expecting again. They're going to have a little girl this time. Their son, however, is still back in Watchmen verse. And Dr. Manhattan does allude to the fact that you need to stay here because your son he's gonna come here one day. Basically, is what he tells him.
Right.
Also, like some of these universes that Dr. Manhattan talks about have had people in a tizzy for years, and people are still wondering about some of these, myself included, because you're like, okay, how much of this is just riffing, and how much of this shit do they really plan to do?
Right.
It's like 2026 to say a new timeline will be restored. It's possible.
Yeah, the Thor reference.
Yeah, in 2030.
The Hulk reference.
Yeah. 2030 to call it the Secret Crisis, which sounds like Secret Wars.
Yeah, with Crisis.
Yeah. So that sounds pretty incredible with Thor and a Green Behemoth, because they can say Thor, but they can't use the Hulk.
Right. I gotta wonder if like the Hollywood corporos will be that desperate by then.
That is possible. Especially like if Disney's doing Who Buys Out.
So that would be amazing, actually, if Disney just bought them. But like, how many studios can they really run?
They can barely run the runs they got right now.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be crazy if Disney bought them.
Yeah, no, that would be. I don't know, man. I might view that as like a net negative.
It would depend. I think it would probably be a net negative, but it would be interesting. Like, they'd be like, well, fuck it, and they would just put all the DC characters in their theme parks.
That's true.
That would definitely happen.
Yeah. I just don't like how much time all that shit takes,
Yeah, I mean, also, like, you're talking about HBO Max getting folded into Disney Plus. How much is fucking Disney Max going to cost,
$75 a month.
Right, yeah. We're just right back to cable at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to take all the titties out of House of the Dragon.
I'm going to be so mad. I ain't watching the show no more.
Be like Oppenheimer without those couple scenes. It's just nuclear physics for 3 hours.
So like the conclusion of this book, though, we do see Dr. Manhattan. He goes back to Carver Coleman, and he says to him, "I haven't been a very good friend to you, Carver." And this is back in the timeline when he tells Carver he's gonna die in a year, basically. And Carver says, "Okay, well, what do you mean, though? What should I do?" And Dr. Manhattan tells him, just don't be afraid to be who you really are. Just be yourself. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm starting to piece together here what Carver's big secret was, because we found out he was killed by his mother because of some kind of secret that he had.
I think it's that he was gay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was using it to blackmail him, and then
Right.
that shit didn't work, so she ended up killing him.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, Dr. Manhattan is trying to tell him, like, hey, you can't be blackmailed by it if you just come out with it.
Yeah.
You know?
And, I really loved that. I thought that was great. And then I also find it kind of funny how, like, Carver was like, all right, I'll do that. And then, like, he, like, loses his jobs and, like, he's fucking broke for a while. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, but then he bounces back and he has, like, this huge resurgence again in something else. And then he dies at, like, a ripe old age of, like, 90-something.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Till he's fucking 90.
Till he's fucking 90. Yeah, and so Carver Coleman lived a nice, long life after that, instead of being killed with no explanation. You know, no one knew why he was killed in the first place. But now, he got a happy ending. So, ultimately, what Dr. Manhattan learned from all this, because he does go back to his own universe, he begins to understand that, okay, I see where things could be different. Superman has taught me something here. And he is inspired now to put hope into his universe. Because that's the one thing that the DC multiverse has that his Earth doesn't have, is that kind of hope. There's no Superman here.
Right.
And
they definitely don't have it.
No, absolutely not. And Dr. Manhattan, he knows that he's too far gone. Like, he can't be that.
Right.
You know? And so, what does he do? Well, he does what anyone would do. He kidnaps a baby.
And he basically makes a little Superman.
Yes. But not just any baby. This is the baby of Miami Marionette.
Right.
He takes that baby and he kind of raises this child as his own for a while. And then he drops that child off at the house of Dan Jarberg and Laurie Uspechik, a.k.a., Silk Spectre and Night Owl. Because those two have been living a life together in secret under a different alias. And this young man, this kid, is dropped off to their home. And lo and behold, he says that his name is Clark, and he's got the Dr. Manhattan atomic symbol on his forehead. But before that, just a page before that, we see Dr. Manhattan once again reimagine his life, and we see that he goes back to when him and Janie were dating, but this time he doesn't go back to the intrinsic field,
right,
to achieve the watch. This time he stays with Janie, and they live a life together. So we get the notion that Dr. Manhattan, he left his powers with this kid who is basically going to be raised to be a Superman of sorts. And Dr. Manhattan was able to kind of live out in the reality where he never went back into that field.
Right.
And so he got to live a life with Janie, which I thought that was pretty cool.
He played Roy for a long time.
Yeah, a real long time.
Yeah. He made it like 47 years or whatever.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. What's also pretty cool, a pretty interesting juxtaposition here is John names this kid Clark, and Clark, he has a kid, and his kid's name is John.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, okay, well, interesting correlation there.
Why did you say that name? So do you think that little Clark Franklin Richards here is gonna show up at some point?
Oh, he very well could. That's the thing. Like, that's something they have tucked in their back pocket now.
Also, like John, I guess, is dead, right? Because he just kind of gave his powers to this kid, and therefore he doesn't exist.
Yeah, he gave his powers and to that kid, and kind of reimagined his life with Janie. So yeah, he's done so. It's very much a spoiler alert, it's very much kind of a Sandman ending in that regard, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like in one of these universes, he mentions like the kid coming back, or maybe it was somewhere else. Yeah. Also, I really thought this was cool too. Like there was a bunch of cool like little entries that Dr. Manhattan talks about when he mentions all of the times in the future that he sees Superman, you know. So we spoke about how in June 2030 there's the secret crisis with Thor and the Hulk. And then he says in April 18th, 2038, Superman appears in public for the first time. That's when Superman will become a public domain character.
Right, yeah. I got that, yeah.
Yeah. So, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's going to be interesting, man, when that happens.
Yeah.
I wonder how well DC is... I mean, obviously, they probably have their legal people working on it. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that they're going to be able to limit it to, like, that exact depiction of Superman.
Yeah. Yeah,
so, like, you can't have him in, like, the Snyder suit. You can't have him in the corn sweatsuit.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to be in the light blue shirt, like the DC intro logo, basically.
Yeah. And I would even imagine that, like, I don't know if they can get away with this, but maybe he'd just be limited to whatever Superman could do then, which... He couldn't even fly back then, you know?
Yeah. He just leaped tall buildings.
He leaped tall buildings, yeah. So,
you'll be able to do all the basic shit. You probably whip out some Mr. Burtis a plane.
Right.
You know, all that kind of thing. But it's going to be a lot easier, I think, with Batman.
Yeah.
For them to kind of work that into some stuff. But, like...
He can kill people. This motherfucker's got a gun.
Once it's public domain, though, like... does that mean, you know, that if they fucking wanted to, that Marvel could just... put that version of Superman in something?
Wow. Marvel had to be careful because I think that it would be a lot easier a few years later for just DC to use Captain America.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't even under Marvel Comics. That was underneath a different publication, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting, man, how it all is going to fold out as these, like, mega properties become public domain.
Yeah.
So there's a character, and this struck me immediately, right, when a certain line was said, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but there is a Cosmere character that is so Ozymandias, and I never thought about it until one specific panel in this book where he's talking about, like, when it's that point where he's like, and then I realized that I could save both of these worlds, and you're just like, dude. No. What's crazy is, like, his plan basically works the second time.
Yeah.
But he gets wrecked, you know.
Yeah, he gets wrecked, and then you have to wonder, like, I mean, because I guess another thing we forgot to mention, Dr. Manhattan takes him back to his universe, and Ozymandias is put in jail.
Yep.
So...
It's exactly what he didn't want, is, like, his character and reputation completely ruined.
Yep, completely ruined now.
And he's now just villainized. But yeah, there's a very key Cosmere villain that I'm just like, this motherfucker has so much to do with Ozymandias. So.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's not anybody that you've met, but it's soon.
Absolutely.
Soon.
You got any other final thoughts, comments, regards on Doomsday Clock?
No, man, I loved this, and I honestly admire the restraint of DC to stay the fuck away from it since.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't last, but hopefully, as long as, like, all these new Absolute comics and stuff are selling really well, I really don't want to see a motherfucking Absolute Watchmen book on the shelves. So, like, I think, you know, this is really good as a property to maybe revisit every decade at most. Probably 2. Because obviously, if you have an incredibly talented team, I mean, you can play in this world. I don't really even know if I want to see... Like, I feel like if I were to see another Watchmen thing, I would want it to be, like, years later in their world and maybe be centered around Clark. You know, around this kid.
Yep.
I don't want really any kind of story crossover like this or anything that's anywhere near the first two books in the timeline. If you want to like stay in that same world and go off into the future and do some new plot lines with some new characters, I think that'd be the way to go if they ever revisit it again, and I'm sure they will because that's just capitalism.
True.
But for now, I think that it's damn near perfect, man. And I really loved Doomsday Clock. I think it is the ultimate companion to the original graphic novel.
I think so too. And I view it like this. I view it like Breaking Bad is my favorite TV show of all time. When they released like El Camino or Better Call Saul, I was like, but then those ended up being really goddamn great too.
Yeah, I was really skeptical, especially of Better Call Saul. Mm-hmm. But having watched it now, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is. I mean, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think that it is just incredibly slow at the beginning, and like it's obviously because they really wanted to go back, a long way and like kind of tell the story. But when you watch the first season, you're just like, man, I don't even know what this is. You're like, I don't really, I get it's the same guy, but there's just really no connection whatsoever to Breaking Bad in that. And that was a very bold choice to not come out the gate swinging, with that. And but the show is better for it. The whole property is better for it.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. But that's kind of how I view like Doomsday Clock in relation to Watchmen, where I'm like, I don't think Watchmen needs to have anything else, but I'll be damned if Doomsday Clock isn't great. So it's like I've always said in the past, like even going back years now, whenever I would reference Doomsday Clock, I would always say it is as good of a sequel to Watchmen as a sequel to The Watchmen can be.
Yeah, as it could ever be. Yeah. I mean, I completely thought that they would at least get one character wrong.
Nope.
And I don't think they do.
No, I mean, again, Geoff Johns does such a great job of nailing the tone of this and just like the time ticking, anxiety inducing feel of the story. How you know that everyone is working on borrowed time right now, to like the sense of hopelessness that's here, to the 9-grid panel format that was famously used in the Watchmen book, to the utilization of those Watchmen characters. There's all kinds of throwbacks here. Like there's a little girl at the end of this book who goes and visits Ozymandias every day, and her name is Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is like not a throwaway thing, but it's just a small thing in the Watchmen book where Nostalgia was like a perfume that was created by Ozymandias as part of like his brand.
Right.
And so like, I mean, like the depths that Geoff Johns and his team went to just researching the Watchmen and finding all kinds of little things. The Carver Coleman story was tremendous. I thought was a really great companion to like Tales of the Black Freighter, and then they tied that into the main story. The utilization of Dr. Manhattan was great, and like the use of his powers. I mean, yeah, like I just think that this is a tremendous story, and I think anyone who enjoys The Watchmen should definitely give this a try.
Yeah, I think this is definitely like a top 3 graphic novels for me right now. Excellent. And that's impressive.
Yeah, that's damn impressive. Well, we got Gen V season finale coming up next week.
Yeah.
The season finale came out tonight as of this recording.
Yeah, and we talked about like whether we review it sooner or later is going to depend on if we like it or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen like any spoilerific things on it, but I have scrolled past a few reactions, and yeah, we'll see y'all next week, I guess.
Yeah, I actually have not seen episode 7 either.
I haven't seen 7 or 8 myself either.
Yeah, because I decided to just wait. So, and it came out while I was at the beach, and like I wasn't trying to watch it on shitty internet connection. So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably dig in and binge both of those maybe tomorrow, and then we'll see. So, we're gonna do the thing.
We will do the thing, but that's gonna be all the things we do for this evening. Homies, we hope you enjoyed this review, this breakdown, this in-depth analysis of DC's Doomsday Clock, the pseudo-Watchmen sequel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review half as much as we enjoyed reading this and breaking it down for you guys. But that's going to be all for now. We will see you guys again soon, though, so don't miss us too much. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.